Why did Olivia Colman create a Wicker husband? Wicker movie explained. Warning, spoiler warning. Before we begin, this video contains trailer spoilers for Wicker and discusses elements from Ursula Wills-Jones's original short story, The Wicker Husband, that inspired the film. We'll explore why Olivia Colman's mysterious fisherwoman creates a husband made entirely of wicker, what it symbolizes, and the hidden meaning behind one of the year's most unusual movie trailers. With that said, let's get started. Imagine living in a village where nobody truly sees you. Every day feels exactly the same. The sea becomes your only companion. The silence becomes louder than conversation. And after years of loneliness, you stop believing love will ever find you. So instead, you decide to create it yourself. That's exactly what happens in Wicker. When audiences watch the trailer for the first time, most weren't asking about the magic or the mystery. They asked something much simpler. Why would Olivia Colman's character build a husband out of wicker? The answer isn't just about fantasy. It's about loneliness, hope, and the desperate human need to be loved. Let's break it all down. A woman forgotten by the world. The trailer introduces Olivia Colman's character as a quiet fisherwoman living on a remote coastline. Her life appears painfully ordinary. She wakes before sunrise, works alone, returns home alone, and repeats the same routine every single day. There are no children running through her house, no family waiting for her, no husband returning from the sea. Even when surrounded by other villagers, she still feels isolated. The trailer quietly tells us something important. She's invisible. People don't necessarily hate her, they simply don't notice her anymore. And sometimes, being ignored hurts even more than being rejected. That emotional isolation becomes the foundation of the entire story. She doesn't want perfection, she wants to be seen. Many viewers assume she creates the Wicker husband because she wants the perfect man. But the trailer suggests something much deeper. She isn't chasing perfection, she's chasing connection. Think about it. If all she wanted was beauty, or wealth, or status, she could have dreamed of a prince. Instead, she asks for someone who will simply stay. Someone who listens, someone who understands, someone who chooses her when nobody else ever has. That's an incredibly human desire. The Wicker husband isn't built because real people aren't good enough. He's built because real people never gave her the chance. Why a basket weaver? One of the most fascinating details in both the trailer and the original story is who actually creates the husband. It's not a wizard, it's not a witch, it's a master basket weaver. At first, that seems like an unusual choice, but symbolically, it makes perfect sense. Basket weaving is an ancient craft. Thousands of small strands carefully woven together until they become something strong. Love works the same way. Real relationships aren't created in a single moment. They're woven together through trust, kindness, patience, and shared experiences. The basket weaver isn't simply making a body, he's weaving together the possibility of a new life. That symbolism gives the story emotional depth long before any magic appears. The miracle no one can explain. Then, something impossible happens. The wicker figure begins to move. He opens his eyes. He walks. He speaks. He learns. The trailer never clearly explains how, and that's intentional. The movie wants audiences to focus less on how the miracle happened and more on why it matters. Some viewers may interpret it as ancient folklore. Others may see divine intervention. Some may even believe the magic is simply a metaphor for love transforming both characters. Whatever the explanation, the miracle changes everything, because suddenly the impossible has become real. The Wicker husband gives her something she lost long ago. Perhaps the greatest gift the Wicker husband gives her isn't romance, it's hope. For the first time in years, someone waits for her to come home. Someone smiles when she enters the room. Someone genuinely cares about her happiness. That's something loneliness slowly steals from people. The belief that they matter. The Wicker Husband restores that belief, not because he's magical, but because he treats her with compassion. Sometimes, being truly seen by another person is the greatest miracle of all. Why didn't she simply marry someone else? This is another question many viewers ask. Why not marry a real man? The trailer offers subtle clues. The village seems deeply traditional, close-knit, judgmental. Everyone appears to know everyone else's business. For someone already living on the margins, finding acceptance may have been nearly impossible. Perhaps she was rejected. Perhaps she experienced heartbreaking loss. Perhaps she simply never fit into the life the village expected her to live. The film hasn't revealed the full answer, but whatever happened, it left her believing she had no place among the people around her. Creating the Wicker Husband becomes more than an act of love. It becomes an act of quiet rebellion. Instead of waiting for society's approval, she creates her own happiness. Why the village fears the Wicker Husband? Ironically, the villagers don't seem frightened because he's dangerous. They're frightened because he shouldn't exist. Think about it. Everything they believe about life, marriage, family, and tradition is suddenly challenged by one impossible man made from woven branches. The Wicker Husband asks uncomfortable questions. What makes someone human? Is it flesh, blood, or the ability to love? If a creature made from wicker can show more compassion than ordinary people, what does that say about the village itself? That's why fear spreads so quickly. The Wicker Husband becomes a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see reflected back. Is there real magic or something else? One of the biggest mysteries surrounding Wicker is the source of the miracle itself. The trailer refuses to provide clear answers. Instead, it leaves audiences wondering. Is there ancient folklore hidden within the village? Did some forgotten blessing awaken the Wicker figure? Is the fisherwoman unknowingly connected to old magic? Or is the story meant to be experienced like a fairy tale, where miracles simply happen because the emotional truth matters more than the explanation? At this stage, every interpretation remains possible. And that's part of the movie's appeal. Sometimes, mystery is more powerful than certainty. The hidden meaning behind the Wicker Husband. Perhaps the Wicker Husband isn't really about magic at all. Perhaps he's about the human heart. He represents every lonely person who's ever wished someone truly understood them. Every outsider who's longed to belong. Every individual who's wondered whether genuine love still exists. He's also a reminder that perfection isn't what creates lasting relationships. Kindness does. Compassion does. Acceptance does. The Wicker Husband may be made entirely from woven branches, but emotionally, he could become the most human character in the film. That's the beautiful contradiction at the center of Wicker. Could the story become something darker? Although the trailers emphasize romance, there's also an unsettling atmosphere running beneath the surface. The villagers grow increasingly suspicious. Whispers spread. Fear begins replacing curiosity. That raises an important question. Is the greatest threat really the Wicker Husband, or the people who refuse to accept him? Many fairy tales begin with wonder, before revealing much darker truths about jealousy, fear, and prejudice. Wicker appears to follow that tradition. The real conflict may never be between humans and magic. It may be between compassion and intolerance. Final thoughts. So, why did Olivia Colman's character create a Wicker Husband? Not because she wanted something artificial, not because she rejected humanity, but because humanity had quietly rejected her. After years of loneliness, silence, and feeling invisible, she chose hope over despair. Instead of waiting for love to arrive, she created the possibility of love herself. The Wicker Husband becomes much more than a magical companion. He becomes proof that even the most isolated heart can still dream of connection. Whether Wicker ultimately becomes a fairy tale, a tragedy, or something beautifully in between, one thing is already clear. The story isn't really about a man made of wicker. It's about a woman brave enough to believe that love was still possible, even after the whole world had stopped believing in her. And perhaps that's the most magical part of all. So, what do you think?
Was the Wicker Husband brought to life by ancient magic? Or do you think the film is hiding a much deeper mystery behind his creation? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more movie explained videos, hidden meanings, ending breakdowns, and fantasy deep dives. Finally,